Hello everyone, this is Anwar الزاهي. I hope you are all well. Today I gonna take you a very short time talking about the vocabulary question. This is a very tough question that you face in your TOEFL test today. So, pay me your attention, stay with me, let's get started. In this video, I promise you that you will know exactly how can you deal with the vocabulary question exactly and accurately. Okay, let's get started. Vocabulary is very important in the TOEFL, okay? Many of the students struggle with this kind of question because they didn't know the meaning of the word. But today, I come with me a very suitable strategy to deal with this question. And is tested in many ways. In fact, every question in the reading passage requires you to use vocabulary. In the whole reading section, if you didn't know more about the vocabulary, if you don't have a very stuffed dictionary of the vocabulary, you will suffer with this section. So I promise you to prepare yourself before you start taking the TOEFL IBT reading section or the whole TOEFL IBT. So let's move on. The best strategy is to have a large English vocabulary before you take the TOEFL. Let's move on to see the formation of the question. The question formation. Vocabulary questions are easy to identify. The question will look like this with a word highlighted in gray, okay? All of the question contains a highlighted word like this, arduous, okay, like this. So let's get started using this example. Climbing a mountain is an arduous task. This is the sentence from the passage or the paragraph. So the question will be like this. The word arduous is closet in meaning too. Whether of the four choices here, one of them is the right answer. Difficult, amusing, distracting, exciting, okay? So if you work your mind and go deeper to deduce what the meaning of this word into the context here, climbing a mountain is a very dangerous task, okay? Or maybe a difficult task. So the right answer here is difficult. It is not amusing, okay, because you are not going to do something is very exciting. It is not distracting, okay, because it's not going to attract or distract you. It is not exciting, okay, as well. Let's move on the TOEFL to the word that you think is like the closest synonym to the highlighted word, okay? It means synonym here is another meaning. In other words, you can put another meaning to the word into the context or to the highlighted word and make sense in the context. Don't use a word into the four choices. Don't choose a word that not goes with the context. According to the general idea into the sentence, you can choose the right answer. In this example, the first answer, difficult, is correct because it's obvious that arduous means difficult to do this mission because climbing a mountain is a very dangerous task. Here is another example. When you have made your decision during the real TOEFL test, click in the oval next to your answer choice. It will darken. Then click on the next button to move to the next question. If you are familiar with this highlighted word and recognize the answer right away, choose it and move on quickly. Don't waste your time because this is not the right place to waste your time thinking of a question. Okay, here is another example. The computer has had a huge impact on society. It has changed the way that we communicate with each other. The word impact is closet in meaning too. Which of the four choices is the right one? Okay, it's obvious and clear that the right answer is influence because you know exactly that impact means influence. But pay me your attention and take care. Sometimes, not all the times, the word influence doesn't belong to the context at all, okay? So when you trying to choose one of these four choices, just recheck it again, okay? Double check the word another time to make sure that it's suitable to the right answer between the four choices. It's not collision at all, or sometimes it comes like collisions in some sentence, but it is not related to the topic because the context is talking about some effects, some results, some consequences, okay? Reaction, I think it's not a good one. Immersion, also it is not suitable for this word because impact means here that the computer has a great influence on the society. It has changed too many things. As you see, I hope you picked the first word, influence. Yes, I want to show you something else here. The word impact can mean collision, okay, in certain contexts. So make sure that your word is not only a synonym. Make sure that your word is not a synonym. This is a very important, essential sentence. Make sure it has the correct meaning for the context, according to the context, not translating or the synonym to just the word. Just you have to make sure that it's suitable according to the context. Always look back at the sentence, okay? You have to look again to the sentence that has the vocabulary word and read the sentence carefully. In the TOEFL, sometimes we use words that are synonyms but do not make any sense, okay? Sometimes that's what I mean here, that you sometimes find exactly or faster the synonym to the word, but after you choose it, you will find it not suitable because it is not going or will be not convenient according to the context. Maybe some other words are more suitable in this case, okay? Make sense in the original context. Don't fall for this trap. Let's move on to know exactly what are the suitable strategies that I can use to deal with this vocabulary question. Strategy number 1. Use examples given to deduce the meaning of the word. The word deduce means to predict the meaning, to guess what does it mean, okay, to make a deduction to this word. Sometimes the TOEFL will give you examples near a vocabulary word, not the exactly vocabulary word. You can use these examples to get the correct answer. Let's look at this example. Some instances of metamorphosis in the animal kingdom are fascinated biologists because they are so astonishing. A caterpillar that emerges from its cocoon as a butterfly or a tadpole swimming in shallow water that slowly makes its way onto land as a frog illustrates this remarkable feat. As you can see, according to what I read now, there is the word metamorphosis, okay? And I imagine that I don't know what does it mean, okay? But after I read for a long time, illustrating and scanning on some vocabularies here, you can predict or deduce what does it mean. Because if you go further and read the caterpillar, it's a kind of butterfly and some insects that emerged from its cocoons and they became a butterfly. So it changed from its case to another case, a butterfly, or a tadpole swimming in the shallow water. So changed it to a frog at last, okay? So there is some changes according to this life cycle, okay? So make sure to understand what does it mean here. So what is the meaning of metamorphosis in the closet in meaning 2? One of the 4 choices: adaptations, arrangements, transformations, selections. Think with me. Is it a kind of adaptation according to the paragraph here? No, it is not adaptation. There is no any modification in the behavior. There is no change into the state or the psychological state of this animal. So it is not adaptation. Arrangement. You are not organizing something. You are not preparing for something, so you cannot use this vocab. But I think it's suitable for number 3 because number 3 is transformation, which means there is changes, okay? Something you turn it into another thing, okay? So the meaning of metamorphosis, it means that the case of an animal or an insect changed from a case to another one. so there is a transformation, but it is not a selection anyway. The third answer is correct. As we said, transformation, the third one is the right answer. We are given two examples here: caterpillars that become a butterflies and tadpoles that become frog. So there is stages. You go further from a stage to another to make some changes. Even if you are not familiar with the definition of metamorphosis, you can imagine from the context, and this is a very important and essential point here, you have to pay your attention in. You can imagine from the context that a caterpillar becoming a butterfly and a tadpole is becoming a frog are changes, okay? So you can deduce, according to the strategy that we are dealing with now and explaining now, that you have to deduce and also make prediction according to what mentioned into the paragraph. Now you can look for a synonym for the word you know. Another word for changes is transformation. Let's move on to talk about strategy number 2. This is a very easy one. Use transition words which show contrast to deduce the meaning. What does it mean, transition words that show contrast? All of the following in green, highlighted in green here, are words that shows contrast. Okay, in this strategy, you will look for words like although, however, on the other hand, but, in contrast, yet, despite, in spite of, while, nevertheless, nonetheless. All of these words shows contrast. If you find one of these words into the context you are dealing with, you can deduce the right answer or the right meaning to the vocabulary. So on. These transition words show that unexpected or opposing information will be included in the sentence. And we can use these words to deduce the meaning of our vocabulary word. Okay, let's get started. We have now an example to show what I mean here. Let's look at some examples to clarify this point. In the city of Rome, contemporary buildings stand in contrast with ancient feats of architecture. Okay, here is, you can answer this question like this. By focusing on the word in contrast. Okay, this is one of the transition words that shows contrast, as we mentioned previously. Okay, it may be, however, okay, it may be also, on the other hand, on contrary. One of these transition words can show you that there is a contrasting or opposing ideas between the sentence. So when you are asking me about what does it mean contemporary, I really don't understand or don't know. I didn't recognize this word because I didn't know it previously. Okay, so when you ask me, I have to try to imagine if there is a contrasting ideas into this sentence. Okay, there is a word in contrast, so I have to read the ancient feats. Okay, the word ancient here, it is a key word that is opposite of contemporary. It's now clear that what I mean here. By comparing the two words, ancient, it means very old, but contemporary, it means modern one. So if I go to the question itself, the word contemporary is closest in meaning to, it's clear now, it's the fourth choice, modern, because it's clear that there is some contrasting ideas into the sentence itself. So the word in contrast shows contrast between the first word and the second word, ancient. So I can deduce that the contemporary word, it means modern one. The fourth answer is correct. As we said before, the reading says that contemporary building stands in contrast with the ancient architecture. So we can deduce that contemporary must mean the opposite of ancient. Therefore, the correct answer is modern, the opposite of ancient, as I said before. Let's move on to go through strategy number 3. This strategy is very common, and you can use it according to your common sense with this statement or the sentence and your background about the knowledge of the word. Okay, if you have a general information, if you have a good culture about something, and also you have a common sense about this thing, you can easily understand and use this strategy to deduce what does it mean this word. This strategy involves using your logic, common sense, according to the logical situation, okay, according to what logically understood this sentence, you can draw a conclusion of what does this word mean, okay, and knowledge of the word. Let's look at some simple example here. Okay, the burning of fossil fuels cause toxic gases to enter the atmosphere. Okay, according to the sentence, there is some burning of fossil fuels. You know, all of you, the fossil fuels, okay, it's a kind of file, related type, the coal, some woods, something like this. Cool toxic gases, okay, to enter the atmosphere. And here is the question itself. It says that toxic is closest in meaning to aromatic, poisonous, stall, pungent. Okay, the right answer is, I know that you now answer this this question easily, because your choice will be poisonous, because poison is a kind of damage that the fossil fuels make to the environment, okay, or the atmosphere. So toxic means poisonous here. It's clear now, because I really know that there is some causes that leads to pollution into the atmosphere. One of them is burning the fossil fuels. So these gases coming out of these fossil fuels are poisonous, okay? So the correct answer is the second answer, poisonous. You have probably heard of the fossil fuels. As I said before, you know that burning them releases gases that are poisonous. Your knowledge of the word has provided you with the answer, okay? According to your information, your background, scientific background about a certain topic, you know the right answer, deducing what does it mean here. Here is another example to assure that you understand what does it mean here using the vocab question. Teenagers often go through a stage where they defy their parents and other authority figures. Okay, here is the highlighted word defy. The word defy is closest in meaning to which one of this? Honor, reprimand, disobey, ridicule. Okay, let's get started using these words and try to deduce what does it mean, the word defy, according to the context. Okay, he says that some teenagers, adults, okay, often go through a stage, okay, they pass with a stage of life where they defy their parents, okay, disobey their parents and other authority figures. Okay, they neglect their instructions, do not listen to them. Okay, so they disobey, because the verb obey means to go through instructions, to follow the instructions, but disobey the opposite meaning. Okay, so now if I were at your shoes, I will choose the word disobey in the third choice, because it is the more convenient. Because according to my background, when you are talking about something that belongs to the general information or your background about something, you have to deduce the right answer according to this information. There's something very crucial that I would like to give you some points and notes about it in a vocab question. I want you to be aware that sometimes the TOEFL will ask you the meaning of phrase, okay? Phrase means more than one word, okay? The word itself, a single word, is a word. But the phrase, not just only a word. It may be 2 or 3 words, so it is a phrase. Not of just one individual word. Use the same strategies. Nothing is changeable, okay? Let's get started. Let's have a look here for this example. Read with me. The rubber tree is considered very important economically because of the milky latex that is extracted from the tree in a process called rubber tapping. An incision is made in the bark of the tree through the tree's latex vessel, from which the product then flow out. This is the part of the passage, paragraph, or the sentence, the context also. And there is the word extracted from, okay? Okay, according to what I'm understood now, this is a kind of liquid substance that comes out of a tree. This process called rubbering trap, as is mentioned into the sentence here. So what can I infer, or what can I suggest the meaning of extracted from? Okay, let's have a look at the question itself. The phrase extracted from, here is a verb and the preposition from. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, it means take out of, produced by, discovered within, consumed from. Okay, discovered within and also consumed from are away of the right answer. Okay, they are not suggested. Okay, but the first choice and second one are probably maybe the right answer. But if you focus more and look at the first choice, you can determine that it is the right one, because extracted from, it means to come out of something. So the right answer here is number 1, take out of. As you see, the first answer is correct. Number 1, the first answer is take out of. Okay, this question, think about how a resource is obtained from a tree. Okay, the process of obtaining something from the tree. It is taken out of the tree, so it is the right answer. Okay, let's move on quickly to strategy number 4. Use the border context sometimes. What does it mean, border context? It means the surrounded sentence to the word itself. Okay, he is giving you will face a word into the context, and you have to read before this word and after this word to know what does it mean and deduce the meaning of this word. None of these strategies will work. Sometimes none of the strategies will work. You want to have any knowledge, okay, about the subject, and you want to give you example or transition word clues. You don't have any of them. However, you can still use the border context to deduce the meaning. Okay, that means that you have to read the whole paragraph or the whole sentence to deduce the meaning. You can act like a detective looking for clues. Okay, just to focus on the certain points that leads to a clue. This is or other one the right answer. Okay, let's analyze some example. Plants have developed a remarkable adaptation for surviving in arid climates. In some plants, the leaves and the stems are covered in a protective thick waxy covering. This waxy substance keeps the plant cool and reduces water loss that can occur through evaporation. Okay, I can deduce and I can infer that these plants live in a very dry area, a very hot and dry area. Why do you think these plants or kind of plants live in a dry, hot areas? Because if you read here, moreover, near to this word, they are covered in a protective thick waxy covering. So why these plants could be covered with a thick waxy covering? To protect them from moisture or evaporation. Okay? And also to reduce the colds, to reduce the water loss, as it mentioned here. Okay, some waxy substances keep the plant cool, so it is outside should be very hot. So what is the right answer in the meaning to this arid climate? It means a dry climate. It means a very hot and dry climates. Okay, let's move on to see the question itself. The word arid is closet in meaning to tropical, contaminated, dry, damp. Okay, it's clear now this is the right answer without any comparing to the other 3 choices here. So it's clear now that the right answer is dry climate, because if you have a dry climate, some metamorphosis had changed or happened or occurred to these plants, such like using a protective thick waxy covering. Okay, and also this substance can lead to preserving the cool to these plants and preventing more evaporation to go out or released from these plants. Okay, to stay cool. So the right answer, as it mentioned here, the third answer is correct, the dry one. Okay, the passage mentioned that plants use waxy substance to prevent water loss. Okay, this is the first one. So to use the broader context here is suitable to deduce the meaning of the word. If a plant is trying to prevent water loss, the climate must be dry, and the answer must be dry as well. So now this is the main strategies that leads to the right choice. Okay, let's have a look in the general for them. Strategy number 1, use example giving to deduce the meaning of the word. Okay, this is strategy number 1. Okay, like deduce and infer the meaning. Strategy number 2, use the transition words that shows contrast, like although, however, like this, to make a suitable suggestion or prediction to the meaning and deduce what does it mean this word. Strategy number 3, use your common sense and knowledge to the world to just know about your background about a certain topic that you are dealing with. Strategy number 4, use the broader context sometimes. It means that you have to go deeper and deeper to see or to read more sentence to deduce what does it mean according to the topic. At the end of our video today, I hope you understood what I explained today. Just follow me for more videos about TOEFL IBT reading. See you in another video. I hope you are well. See you. Goodbye.